Okay, so this is going to be a different type of video today. This isn't going to be a card trick or a card control or anything like that. This is going to be one of my favorite things to do with a deck of cards, which I actually have done a few times in my videos here. So what we are going to learn today is the one-handed card shuffle, the very difficult one-handed card shuffle. So without further ado, grab your deck of cards and learn with me the one-handed card shuffle. Okay, so starting off this shuffle, I'm going to let you know right now that this is a very hard shuffle to do. And I know people say, well, I have small hands, so I won't be able to do this. That isn't true. That just means that your hands aren't adapted to this shuffle yet. That your hands don't have the strength to do it. Anyone can do the shuffle. You just have to put in the time and the practice to learn it. And there's other ways to actually do this. Now, yes, it will stretch your hands out, so that might be where you have small hands. But trust me, it is so worth it to learn this shuffle. So without further ado, let's get into this shuffle. So the first thing I would recommend, now it doesn't matter if you have small or big hands, I would recommend getting a bridge deck. Now essentially what a bridge deck is, it's a deck, but it's a lot smaller. So imagine this red card, but no white border, and some of the white border actually being gone, so it sort of is like this size, so I don't know how to do this. But it's a lot smaller of a deck, okay? So that's one thing I would recommend when learning this bridge shuffle. Now the second thing I would recommend learning, well, not learning, but make sure you have 2 rubber bands, because essentially you can cut the deck in half, and you can learn the cut. Okay, so this cut, first, let me do a lot better cut. You can learn this cut, and that will be good. Now, this cut is also used as a false shuffle, or a false cut, okay? So if you can learn this, then you can do it. So essentially, the first thing I will be doing is teaching you the cut. So for the cut, if you want, you can have half of the deck. It doesn't matter. I'm going to have the full deck. And what you're going to do is have your index finger on top, your pinky on the bottom, middle and ring on this side, and thumb on this side. All you're going to do is come over and put your index finger next to your middle finger, and you're just going to split open about half. Now, it won't be approximate at first, but as you practice and get better at this, it will be more than half, or it will be half. Once this is open, all you're going to do is put your index finger inside of there and shoot it up. Now, there's a few things you want to watch out for, and there's a few things you want to do. So the first thing is, when you do this and you shoot your finger up, you don't want this bottom card to slide out, because otherwise that'll be hard to get into the grip. The second thing is, when you do this, you don't want the bottom card here, so the ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, my bad, to ride on your fingernail tip, because that's just going to slide it out and make it more of a mess for you. So you don't want that. And the third thing you want is it to be your index finger right here, okay? You want this part. So when you open it up, you're just going to shoot up quickly. And you're going to want to play around with this. Because right there, I didn't have it right on my tip, but on my index finger. And I didn't take a long time. I just shot it right up. So essentially, what that's gonna look like, you have it like this, and then you're just gonna shoot up. So you're left in this position, but just practice the cut. So that's why if you have to, grab about half. And then you can just practice this cut over and over and over. If you have to, keep the break and just continue doing this. So I'm going to keep the break and I'm going to readjust. So right about there. I'm going to shoot up again. And just make sure you practice that. Also, if you have a bridge deck, it's going to be easier. But once again, this is where those small hands might be an issue. But just practice and you will get it. So you have the deck like this. Your index is going to open up about half. And you're just going to shoot your finger up. Now, once again, you want it to be your index finger and not the tip. And don't worry about how uneven the two halves are, because you're actually going to clean that up in step 2. So, let me grab that card or it will bother me. Okay, so, now that we are in this position, we will grab this and we will shoot up. So now essentially you'll be left in a Pharaoh position. So if you don't know the Pharaoh shuffle, essentially it's where you have two halves of the deck and you give them a shuffle. I always do it on my stomach, but it doesn't matter. You have it Pharaoh'd, and then you can shuffle it. So once you're done with this cut and you shoot on up, you're going to be left here. Now you're going to want to even these packets out and square them up. So how are you going to do this? Now actually, before we get into that step, this is good practice here. Taking half of the deck, putting rubber bands around them, and just being in this position, whether you have your middle finger up here or down here, and hold it like this. This will stretch your hands out. And this is just an easy way to do it. So you're not playing 52 card pickup like I was for a whole year trying to learn this darn move. So once you have this, what you're going to do is put your middle finger, on top of the outer packet. You're going to use your thumb, mostly your thumb, because your index finger is holding both packets apart. You're going to move it till you can get these aligned. Now, of course, the bottom corners won't be all aligned, but that's when you can move your thumb up, and that's when you'll have to play around with the pressure point to get them weaved in, so you can actually do the shuffle, okay? So, I would recommend knowing how to do the Pharaoh shuffle too. And if you want, I will make a tutorial on this Pharaoh shuffle. Okay, so you have it like this. You lift up and you're left. Now sometimes you will get it right on the mark. So they are squared up. So all you have to do is just weave them together. So how are you going to weave them together? Well, you're going to have it like this. And when they're together like this, you're just going to start grinding them. And you don't want to grind them too hard, but you don't want it too loose. You want it just right on them corners so they can mesh together. Now, you will probably ruin your deck, chip your deck, tear the corners of your deck. So I don't think it's for this deck. But some of the decks I have, the corner might be tore. And that's because of this shuffle I did. So going through that again. So we have it like this. You open up, you shoot up, and you have it like this. How would I want to do this? I don't want them to fall. Bring this camera up. Oh, what the heck. I'll bring up right here. So you have it like this. And what you're going to do is just try to weave them together like this. So you have it like this. And you want to apply pressure too, so make sure that when you do this, you're squeezing your hand like this, okay? So that means they can get weaved in, like that. And now we can work on the shuffle here. So once you have this down, once you have the weave down, which for me was the hardest, there's a few ways you can do this. You can either have it like this, take your index finger out, and just squeeze your hand together, and then just release pressure slowly, and they will shuffle. Or you can do it like this. So like this. They're together. And then you can push them together, and then you can squeeze and do that. Okay, so that is essentially the one-handed shuffle. So it's like this. You open up. You have them like this. Make sure you apply that pressure some. Then you will shuffle. So I'll go through this slowly one more time. So if you want to, you can follow along with me. And now, this shuffle is actually good if you want to retain some cards. So let's say we have the Ace of Hearts and the Four of Hearts right here. All I'm going to do is give these a shuffle, but I'm going to pay attention to which card I put, how do I do this? To which card I put on the bottom, okay, and they don't go in like you're having trouble. This is when you take them out again, and then you can try it again. Or you can do a false cut, so like this. Now sometimes they won't just shuffle in because they'll be pushed in too far. So one more time I will do this. So you have them like this. Make sure it's along your index and not the tip. And now for this part, you're going to put those packets together. You're going to bring your index and thumb up, okay? And buzz along this corner. So you have them like this. You mesh them together and bring them up. Be careful now so they don't chip, and then you can shuffle them. And that is the one-handed shuffle, which is basically the equivalent of a riffle shuffle. So that was the video for today. I tried to explain that the best I could. I hope you liked that. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if I taught that good. Now, if there are some parts I missed, I might make another video following this video where I put in the tips and everything. But that was the video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye.